Hi, this is Marc Morin with the special Zoom edition of the 206.com podcast. I am here with Haley, Caroline, Emma, Radina, and Jemma, the stars of Host, a brand new horror film that is available exclusively on Shudder. Hello, ladies, and thank you for being here.
Hi, Marc.
Hi, Marc. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yeah, now this movie, which is directed by Rob Savage, is about 5 women who are on a Zoom call doing a seance. And of course, because it's a horror movie, everything goes terribly wrong. Now, Haley, the seance was your character's idea. So I want to ask you the first question. Now, rumor has it, this movie is based on actual events and a real seance the 5 of you participated in. So what's the story behind that?
Yeah, so the real seance we did before shooting. So in preparation for the film, Rob had all of us do a seance with an actual medium. I think it was initially to do kind of help them with script work and figure out like what is this actual structure of the seance, what should it be like. So we did a full seance and some weird things happened. I think Jemma had a crazy thing happen. I'll let her talk about.
So I'm a wimp. Like, I'm so scared of the dark. I'm scared of my own shadow, pretty much. And I was so nervous before we went in, and then so we were sat there, and I was just like trying to keep my cool and be like, I'm around friends, okay, Jemma, just play it cool, play it cool. And there was this massive bang on the like my left hand side, and I've got a door here, so I couldn't even see what was happening. And then I looked over, and like one of my books was like in a new place, and then I stood up like I do in the film and pretty much started crying instantly. I was like, that's it, I'm done for. I knew this was a bad idea. And then everyone was like, come sit back down. And it was really funny because when I came to sit back down, the whole tone of the seance changed, and everyone was suddenly like, it's okay, Jemma, we don't have to carry on.
Yeah, everybody was like, it's that, let's call it a day there. And also the medium, her internet connection cut, and
Oh, no way.
we didn't get her back. So
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we never like technically finished the seance.
Yeah.
So you might actually still be in the seance.
And now you're part of it.
Oh my gosh.
Always a occupational hazard here.
Right, exactly. No, I'm kind of rethinking this interview now, but we'll proceed. No worries. No, thank you. Now, what would you say, and Radina, let's start with you, and then everybody can answer. What would you say is the #1 challenge making the movie from each of your homes? Because we all know it's quarantine. There's no way you could get together to make this movie, and that's kind of the whole point of how this movie came about. So how about each of you comment on that, and Radina, you can go ahead and start.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very exciting, and yes, also very challenging doing it from our own homes. I think the biggest challenge was the fact that you're your own crew as well as the actor in the film. So I knew nothing about sound, I knew nothing about camera, I knew, or very little. And then at some point we had to do all of that. We had to make sure that the camera's set right, that everything is exactly the same as it was yesterday and the day before, to make sure that the sound has, the receiver has batteries every time. So it was just a lot of technical stuff, as well as I have to act, and I have to be a character at some point. So I think that for me was the biggest challenge of how to make sure I get everything right. And it's in doing that, I think I have such a huge appreciation for every single person who works in film. Every single department has a very strong and valuable role.
Right.
And we learned that, and it was just really exciting.
Yeah, I think like the having to do everything on our own and be kind of a one-man band was exciting, and also, as Radina was saying, you've got a million things to worry about instead of just your normal acting. I mean, I had to do a stunt in our house, and just figuring out how to like first learn how to do a stunt and then do it safely and make it look good on screen, and be worried about, did I even shoot it in the correct aspect ratio, and all these little technical things that you never have to do. I mean, Caroline had to do her own special effects makeup.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I did, which was so much fun. It was really challenging because I've never done special effects makeup or anything like that. But I had the great help of Dan Martin, who is the amazing artist who created all of the prosthetics. And then he talked me through applying them. So we'd apply, and then I'd apply it all. He talked me through it. Then we'd shoot a section. Then we'd cut. I'd apply some more. We'd reshoot the next section and keep going. So that was quite a challenge because of the fun I was having with applying the makeup was so much fun, and I loved it. And then immediately then flip into screaming and everything in the acting sense. It was quite a transition, but it was a really good one. It was really fun.
Oh, wow.
And as well, another thing that got me was having to send the files over every night, because there's all that pressure on your shoulder, and you have to make sure you've recorded, you have to get the stuff over in time so they can edit stuff. And that had challenges too, because all my devices, the software isn't the newest, and also my memory is full, so it was really difficult sending the stuff to my laptop to then WeTransfer. It was
a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
And Jemma?
So I think, at the end of lockdown, when it got lifted for us, that's when we filmed the bit where I went to Hayley's house.
Oh.
And normally what is so easy on a film set, having everybody there working, became our biggest problem because of coronavirus. So going into Hayley's house, I was texting her, she's in another room, I'm in her room, I've never been there before, so I was like, where are the wooden spoons so I can sort out this thing where we're pulling, all these things out the cupboards, and then Doug and Rob, who have never been there either, are on a laptop exactly where Hayley's laptop was, telling me what to do. And then we have the lovely Nathaniel Martin, who is part of Lucky 13 Action, and he was being our stunt guy with the paramedics outside in full PPE, and he was my chosen bubble. And I've never met Nathaniel before, but he was in my chosen bubble. So that, for me, was the hardest part, because it was such new territory to try and navigate.
Oh, that sounds like it would be just logistics all the way around for everybody.
Yeah, that's what, Douglas Cox, our producer, just nailed it. He was fantastic.
Yeah, it was obstacle, solution, literally until the last day, because we did ADR and my file corrupted. After all the ADR, so we had to problem, solution, we had to figure it out. So it was just constantly being adaptable and figuring it out.
Wow. And Hayley?
Yeah, I think probably might want to say the footage thing was a real, I've been on sets before, so I'm okay, I can navigate a few things. I'm really lucky. My partner's a cinematographer, so I had him helping me with the lighting and doing a lot of the pulling, and I really put him to work. So actually he probably has more challenges than I did. He can do most of the work. But sending the files over and keeping track of everything, all the technical things you normally have a DIT for, because the fear and the panic of knowing you could have potentially ruined a shot and do something when it's not a massive budget film that has unlimited funds, or just you don't want to put your fellow actors we're shooting a tough scene where everyone's sobbing and crying, and then you have to be oh yeah, I didn't press record, or I forgot to send it over and I deleted it, which fortunately I did delete a little bit of footage, but luckily it was easily to fix because it was just me rocking around my house. But yeah, that was probably one of the most challenging bits of it.
And that's a really good point as well, because you didn't want to let your friends down, because we're all friends, and I had there's that extra pressure of I really want to deliver so that my friends benefit there too, and I didn't want to let my friends down with a file or something. So it was
that's really cool. Now, Hayley, just follow-up question on that. Did your partner know what he was getting himself into when all this started?
Oh, absolutely not. There was no warning. It was just, hey, can you pull me down the hallway today, do you think? And he was in the closet pushing things out of the closet. He had to lay on the floor in a corner of the room so that I could wander around the full flat in darkness. And yeah, I put him through the ringer. It's a wonder he's stuck with me.
That's true dedication there in the relationship. Thank you.
Exactly.
Now, Emma, question for you. Now, there's some amazing scenes of you just being terrified in the movie, including a moment that's actually on the poster as well. So it's been kind of iconicized, I guess, if that's a word. Now, is there any particular moment where you, not the character, where you were just truly frightened while filming a particular scene or just overall making the movie?
Do you know what? We had lots of little creepy things happening. So there was one moment where I was standing just here, had the camera filming ready to go, and I walked over my bed to start filming, and it started having the siren noise. And like I went up to my phone, and it was on the phone to the police. Bear in mind, it was rigged up filming, and I came over to my phone, and there was a police woman on the phone going, "Hello, can I help you? What's your problem? 999. What's your emergency?" What? And I was like, "Oh my God, put the phone down." So the phone called the police while we were filming the movie. Like, I was quite scared by that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and like actually, I wasn't too scared. I found the whole performance side of it really fun, especially the deaths. I know that sounds like really, really twisted, but as an actor, like it was really not seeing you guys die, but like.
So now you were the person that was just bringing up the fact that you're all friends, and then now you're telling me how much you enjoyed seeing them all die. What's going on?
Yeah, well, it was fun to perform that bit, but actually it's been post-filming last night, because this is my real bedroom, right? I don't normally get scared by like ghost films when I go home, but like I look at that doorway now and I literally can't sleep. I had to sleep with the lights on last night because I was so scared. It was just like 3 a.m. and I was like, couldn't stop looking at it. But so yeah, it's been more scary after filming for me.
And an interesting thing about our deaths, actually, none of the other girls knew how the others were dying. So like Rob, our director Rob Savage, would shoot that sequence with only one actress, and then he would, you know, edit it quickly, just like a rough version, and play that to the rest of the cast team, and they would actually react to our deaths. So that was, some of the reactions you see in the film are genuinely, you know, oh my God, my friend just died.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it was fun.
Anybody else want to comment on seeing each other die?
Caroline. It was heartbreaking. It was me, Hayley, and Emma. And just seeing Caroline's death afterwards, I think we were all a bit like shaken, because it was just like so violent and gory, and the bit where her screen after she goes, I mean this is all major spoilers, so I hope you give a pre-spoiler warning.
No, that's okay. Yes.
Just as she goes, then the screen comes back to that looped background. And that was heartbreaking. Like when all the images, when everyone started to go, it came up these beautiful photos of everyone smiling. It was like obituary. I think somewhere said that it was like obituary photos. And that was kind of like heartbreaking. But Caroline, yeah, you dying affected me, Hayley, and Emma quite a bit.
Sorry.
So that brings up a really good point, and my next question, Caroline, is for you. Now, your character, and since Jemma has totally opened the spoiler book here, we're just gonna go right in. No, it's fine. It's fine. Now, your character, as Jemma just mentioned, uses a Zoom background that's a video of herself in the room, just kind of doing mundane things. Like I think she's brushing her hair, and just random stuff, just over, and it repeats as the movie progresses whenever we do see it. Now, over the course of the movie and stuff unfolds, it actually turns like super creepy. So I have 2 questions for you. Where did that idea come from to use that? And then who am I actually speaking with right now? Is it the real Caroline, or is it background Caroline?
Well, I would say the real Caroline, but I think that's something that background Caroline might say. So I don't know. I think the idea actually came from, before all of this started, we have a friendship group, and we have sort of Zoom chats and everything like that at the start of quarantine. And one of our friends in the group, he actually did that one day. We were on the chat, and he just all of a sudden came in walking in his own background and was doing something, and all of us were sort of surprised, and we were like, oh, that's cool. And then and then when we got the script through from the writing team, we had that was in there, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, because it definitely lends to like what's going to happen next kind of feel, and also he's kind of like the ghost of me, like wandering around, which I think is really cool, to add to the suspense of it also.
You know, it sounds like there was a lot of stuff that just kind of came about like that, or just almost do-it-yourself type stuff. Is there any other examples of things that just kind of randomly ended up in the movie because of just an idea that came out of nowhere that you can think of?
Ooh.
I got a call from Doug the day before I was actually supposed to go to Hayley's, and because of you know, no contact, social distancing, they were trying to figure out what they could do. And actually, I got a call the day before I had to go to Hayley's to be like, "Can we throw a bottle at your head?"
Oh.
And so I had to be like, "What is the bottle made out of?" And then they were like, "Sugar glass." I was like, "Yeah." And so
Yeah,
that was the weirdest one.
They'd finished writing the script and they knew how it was going to begin, everything that was going to happen. They knew the end, and then they were kind of throwing ideas around, extra things. And they were like, "What about a glass? Does anyone want to shoot a glass?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll do it. I'll do it." So the bit with the glass, that was like a BB gun,
Oh, wow.
shooting pellets through it. So kind of last minute, and just everybody being like, "I'll do this bit, I'll do that bit."
Is that how you broke the glass?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've still got it. I've still got the BB gun. And I had to wear aviators, right? Because it said wear protective eyewear. And like Dougie, the producer, and Rob, the director, were on the thing with me, and they were going, like, "Can you come up with a funny, like, tagline to give it some oomph?" Because I had to shoot it with oomph with a glass. Slow.
I think one thing that made it into the film that wasn't planned was that there's a moment where Hayley sneezes. And that actually happened. It wasn't a planned sneeze.
Oh, no way.
And the director and producer decided to keep it because it was just so, it was just natural, and we all reacted to it very like,
Well, and nowadays, anytime somebody sneezes, it's like everybody hits the decks and runs for cover. And so that's one thing I noticed about the film too, is obviously it's set during the pandemic, our current times, and the story itself was very much placed within that. Like, Jemma, you've mentioned a couple times that you end up going over to Hayley's apartment, and there's a moment I thought was really cool where you're both freaking out, everything is super crazy, but you're both aware enough to know to do a little elbow bump instead of hugging each other and, you know, doing what we would have normally done in the past. So was that part of the process, like the thought process from throughout the filming, was we are during a pandemic, it is during a pandemic, both inside and outside of the movie?
Yeah, because we couldn't, in the original script, it said that they hug.
Mm-hmm.
And both Hayley and I, you know, and the writing team, so Gemma Hurley, Jed Shepherd, and Rob Savage, all were like, there has to be another way to communicate that love for each other, but not being able to do that. And I think the elbow bump, which was actually Kieran's very large arm, so he did that elbow bump with a white hoodie.
Okay.
I think you're the first person to point that out, Mark, but that's not actually Gemma's arm.
Okay, so it was a stunt elbow.
Yeah, we had because of the restrictions that we were under, and we didn't want to kind of be disrespectful to our NHS and everybody who's working really hard to keep everyone safe, and just jump into hugging and hanging out. And so we did think like, okay, we definitely can't hug. We're not comfortable with that. What can we do? And then Douglas, our producer, was like, what if actually we split that shot and we do a mass cut? So when Jemma exits the kitchen, you'll see there's a kind of a whip, and that's where my partner then picked up and become camera operator. And so that is his very well placed arm. So it looks like Gemma's dainty arm versus his hench arm.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna have to watch for that next time I watch them. Oh, there you go. Now the reaction to this movie has been so positive, almost like across the board, and really just all of a sudden, like the movie came out, and all of a sudden the internet is abuzz. Now, Jemma, I'll ask you first, and then everybody can comment. Was there a moment during this where you're like, "Hey, this is really becoming a thing"? And what has the last week been like for all of you?
So I think the moment that we all we all started being like squealing little like sort of human beings,
Yeah.
was actually, I can see you've got a Middle Earth poster behind you there.
Yeah.
So we had Sir Elijah Wood, Sir Frodo, getting
Frodo?
Frodo himself,
Oh my
Elijah
gosh.
Wood, basically complimented us and was like, "Wow, guys, great job."
Oh my
And then
gosh.
the whole team, sort of, I mean, Radina's reaction was the biggest.
Yes, I love Lord of the Rings. So when I saw his comment, I was just, I honestly started jumping up and down, like screaming, like, I can't believe this is actually happening. Yes, the response has been super overwhelming. I'm so happy, and none of us expected this. We already knew the team, so we already knew Rob Savage, the director, Douglas Cox, and Jed Shepard, and we trusted them to know that this is going to be a good product. And we all gave 100% like we would, but I don't think any of us expected such a lovely response. And all the horror fans have been so supportive, and it's just, the last week has been really, really, overwhelming, exciting. It's quite rewarding to see that reaction.
Oh, that's amazing.
For me, it was when we were coming out in all these articles, like people that I read, like The Guardian and like New York Times, and I was just like, whoa, like people don't know about it now,
Wow.
It's been amazing. Like, to think, as me as a person, if I watch a film and I go out my way to find the characters or the cast, and tweet them, say how much I really enjoyed their performance, that means I really, really liked it. And we're getting
that was me.
Yeah, I won't do that unless I really mean it. So like, for people to be doing that, it's like so touching and just brilliant. I hope we've been able to, like, distract people a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does mean so much. And like, one thing I really love is that like we're getting Five Girls are getting a lot of sort of contact, because obviously we're in the film, people know our faces, but I really love that so many other people in the team are also being noted by the people online, and I love that, because they work so hard and they are so talented, and it's so nice that the love is being shared between the whole team.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I know, that happened once.
Background Caroline is taking over. Haley, we'll jump over to you while Caroline.
Oh, there she's back.
Oh, Caroline, we lost you for a moment.
You were saying about challenges earlier. My internet was definitely a challenge.
Right, there we go.
I have rubbish internet. Yeah, no, I don't know where it froze, but basically I was just giving love to the team.
Right. Now, real quick, as you're mentioning that, and then Haley, we'll let you finish up this part of the conversation, is the writing team. I know you've mentioned them and really praised them before. And this was was it 3 or 4 different people? Like, who was the writing team for this?
3,
So
I think. Oh, you go. No, you go.
No.
We had, I think it's a 3 main writing team. So it was Jed Shepard and Jemma Hurley and Rob Savage. So Rob is obviously the director, and then Jed and Jemma both kind of helped create the structure, and I think a lot of the ideas came from them. Actually, the group as a whole, really. But they delivered us the nice treatment that we could all use. And I know Rob and Jed have worked a lot together. They did, they've done, I think, all their projects together, if not most of them. And they brought in, so they're really strong with, the horror concepts. They're horror film encyclopedias. They've seen everything, they study it. They probably could teach master's courses on it.
Oh, wow.
And so they brought Jemma in, who is new. Jemma Hurley's new kind of to the gang, who feels like she's been one of us for the last 5 years, whatnot. So they brought her in because she's very strong with, like, they brought the scares and she brought the heart. So she was able to be like, yes, you guys want the characters to die on screen and scare everybody, but why? Why do you want to do that? She really brought, I think, that element to the script, which then made it really easy for us, I feel like.
Yeah, because it was so great as actors, because we were given the scriptment which had this point here, that point there, so we knew where we had to go with it, but then we were given the freedom to improvise around it. So we knew the relationships and the plot points, but together, like we did so many takes, and the final product is a collaboration of all of the improvised kind of dialogue between us in and around the script. So it was such a fun and unique experience in that way. It was really great.
Yeah, and like you know when you have a big group of people on Zoom and we're improvising as well, and like when everybody's talking at the same time, some people get drowned out, you don't hear what they're saying. Like in the film, there were lines coming from people in that first bit which I didn't even hear them say, because they were like we were all kind of throwing bits in, and like it was just great to see it all come together. But I guess if you in real life, you would have heard what everybody's saying. But
right.
So
I think we're all quite lucky. I'd say we're quite lucky that, yes, we're all friends, and we all know each other as actors from before. We've all acted together. We've been in projects together. And when it comes to improvising a lot of the dialogue, it was a very, very natural way. Everything just came really, really natural. It was a very safe space. Nobody was judging anybody. Everybody was supporting the other people, and it's incredible to see, because not only are they my friends, but they're also incredible actresses, all of them. So it was lovely to see some some amazing acting across the screen. So yeah, we got quite lucky.
Yeah, that really does come across. That's one of the first things I thought of is, these girls must be friends and know each other, because there's such a rapport, and just it really came across on screen. So that's really interesting to hear. Now, Haley, let's go back to you and finish up the question about how, what was it like when all of a sudden this became a thing?
Oh, right. Okay. I feel like for me, the big moment was when NPR did an article for us. We were getting like the New York Times and Empire and the Guardian and stuff, but I'm a diehard NPR fan. When I heard that they were doing the article and that came out, that was a real oh, my mom's gonna watch this now. Hooray! All my aunts and uncles who were too afraid to watch it will know I finally done something.
Wow.
Yeah, that was exciting. The same with Caroline, and everybody. It's been so wonderful. Just the horror community and horror fans are the best, and I love seeing, everyone on the crew getting the recognition they deserve, because it's a real team effort. There was no individual in this film. We all did it together. Right.
Now, thank you for that. Now, Host is available to watch now on Shudder. And so if anybody who doesn't have Shudder or doesn't know what Shudder is, you can just go to shudder.com. And if you're not already a subscriber, they do a free trial offer. I'm not sure what it is right now. I think it's been 7 days free trial. So, it's really easy to check out. And then once you're on Shudder, you can find Host, and you can enjoy watching these ladies get terrorized by mysterious forces. Now, I got to say again, this was such a fun movie to watch. I was scared at several different points, and it was just a really, really crazy time. Now, it's also, for me, it's been a huge pleasure, as we've talked about, to have you on here today, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Do you have any last thoughts before we wrap things up?
Just a big thank you, really. Thank you for having us. It's just lovely to have people really interested about the film and want to hear us and hear our stories and stuff. So thank you very much for having us. And
you're welcome.
I can't wait to see what else is going to happen.
Yeah. If you are in London, they just announced that we will have a theatrical release at the Prince Charles Theatre in October. So that's our exciting news. We found out a little earlier today. So if anybody's based in London, come see us at the theater.
Wow, that's exciting news. So you'll actually be in the theater, you said October?
Yes, I think it's 19th, 3 days in October so far.
Oh, that's great news. Congratulations on that. So anything else from anybody before we wrap up?
Keep an eye on the space behind the people that you look at on Zoom because you never know what you might see.
That is true. Very true. Very true. Especially, yeah, that's the thing is there's going to be like fear of going on to Zoom chats now. You never know what's going to happen. So I'll just say one more time, thank you, ladies, for being here. And to everybody listening, thank you for watching the special Zoom edition of the TheTwoOhSix.com podcast. Be safe and watch movies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.